Hi everyone and welcome to this lesson. Today we're going to learn how to determine the equation of a linear function when we are given that linear line with 2 points on that linear line and we know the coordinates of those 2 points. Now a linear line is always in the form of y equals mx plus c. So what is it that we want to do? We want to find the numerical value for the gradient as well as the numerical value for the y-intercept. Now, it's quite easy to calculate the gradient because we have 2 points on this linear line and we know their coordinates. So you learned in a previous lesson that a gradient is basically the difference between the vertical space divided by the difference between the horizontal space. So here is our formula. The gradient can be calculated by taking the difference between the y coordinates. So I'm going to start with the y coordinate of point A minus the y coordinate of point B. And then we're going to divide it with the difference between the x coordinates, which is our horizontal space. So I'm going to start with the x coordinate of point A minus the x coordinate of point B. Now it's very important that you pay attention to this order because when I start with the y coordinate of point A, I have to start with the x coordinate of point A because these two form one pair. And those two form one pair. So if I started with the y coordinate of point B, I also have to start with the x coordinate of point B. Got it? Okay, so all that we need to do now is substitution of all these points. So in the place of the y coordinate of point A, I'm going to put this 4, and there it is. Then I'm going to write the minus, and in the place of the y coordinate of point B, I'm going to put this minus 1, and there it is. And then in the place of the x coordinate of point A, I'm going to put the 0, and there it is. We're going to write the minus, and then we're going to write what the value is for the x coordinate of point B, which is a 10, and there it is. We simply type this into our calculator and we see that our gradient is equal to minus a half. And this is correct because it's a negative gradient and our line from left to right is downward sloping. Now we can simply write y is equal to, and in the place of the m we're going to put this minus a half. So we've got minus half an x and plus, and now we need to know what's the y-intercept. But lucky for us, this straight line goes through the y-axis at this point, and that value is a 4. So the y-intercept is already given to us. It's a 4. So we're going to put 4 right here, and that is the equation for this linear function. Okay, let's go and try another example. Now in this example we are given this linear line with also 2 points on that linear line. Now this is quite easy because now we know that a linear function is in the form of y equals mx plus c, and because we have 2 points we can easily calculate the gradient. So the gradient is equal to the y coordinate of point A minus the y coordinate of point B divided by the x coordinate of point A minus the x coordinate of point B. So all that we need to do is we have to do substitution of all these points. So in the place of the y coordinate of point A, I'm going to put this 2, and there it is. We're going to write the minus, and in the place of the y coordinate of point B, I'm going to put this minus 4, and there it is. And then in the place of the x coordinate of point A, I'm going to put this minus 1, and there it is. We're going to write the minus, and in the place of the x coordinate of point B, we're going to put this minus 4, and there we go. So now we can simply do this calculation on our calculator, and we will see that our gradient is equal to 2. Now before we continue, I also want to show you that we can get the same value for the gradient by using the counting method. Now we learned that the counting method is our vertical space divided by our horizontal space. So if we want to count from this point to this point, we are going to count downwards first. So from a height of 2 all the way down to a height of minus 4 because they are our y coordinates. So from 2 to minus 4 is a negative 6 because we are counting downwards, okay? That's why it's a negative 6. Now this point's x coordinate is a minus 1. So I'm counting from minus 1 to the left to minus 4, and that is 3 units. But because it's to the left, it's going to be a negative 3. So minus 6 divided by minus 3 gives us a 2, and that is how we can use the counting method. Quite easy, right? Okay, but it's much safer to use this formula, as you will know that you will work definitely correctly if you do the substitution correctly. Now, what we do next is we write down y equals mx plus c, and in the place of the gradient we can put this 2, and there we go. Now, we don't have the y-intercept because we do not have that value. But what we can do now is we can take any one of these 2 points and we can take the coordinates and substitute it into x and y's place. Now, I'm going to make use of point A, which is minus 1 and 2. So in the place of the x, I'm going to put the minus 1. There we go. And in the place of y, I'm going to put this 2. And there we go. You could have done it with these coordinates as well. But I am using point A. So now we have 2 times minus 1. That gives us minus 2. And if I take this minus 2 to the other side, it becomes a plus 2. So 2 plus 2 is 4. And 4 is equal to c. So our y-intercept is a 4. So now we simply can put that into our equation, and we end up with y is equal to 2x plus 4. And we are done. Okay, excellent. So I hope you could follow, and see you again next time. Bye.